Hello everyone, I'm Siddharthan. In this video, let's understand how we can install and work with a sample database in MongoDB. MongoDB is a widely used NoSQL database where you can store data in a document-oriented fashion. So we don't have strict rules like the data has to be in tables and rows and columns like you would have in MySQL or other databases. So that's the advantage, and now let's see how we can do this. So the first step, if you are on Windows, is to go to Google and search for MongoDB download. So we will see this download MongoDB community server, which is the free version of MongoDB. So you can click on this link and there we can choose the version that we want. So we have MongoDB community server download, and then we have MongoDB community Kubernetes and so on. So we are just going to download this first version, which is MongoDB community server. So here we have this version. So you can select different version that you want. So I'll use this 8.0.0, which is the latest version, and the platform that I'm currently in is Windows. So this is like kind of automatically recognized. So all these are like recognized, and it's given based on your operating system, and the package is a zip for MSI. So I'm going to choose the MSI, which is the installer file, and then I can click on this download. So this is going to download the installer file, and the installer file is about 713 MB. So I'll cancel this because I have already downloaded the file. As you can see, I'll straight away show you how you can install this. So make sure that you have installed this file and you can open this. So this is the file that we have downloaded, which is MongoDB Windows 8664 8.00 site. So double click this, and here so we have this installation setup, which is like pretty simple. So click on next. So here you can accept to the license agreement. Again, click on next. So if you are just like trying to work with it in a basic way, you can just like download the complete. If you want to choose specific aspects, you can choose custom, but it's kind of slightly advanced. You can just like download the complete edition if you want. And this you can install MongoDB as a service. So here we have an option of local or domain user. So we don't have to do that. We can just run it as a network service user. So this is like the default version or default kind in which we use this. So run service as network service user. So you don't have to change anything. So I click on this next. So this checkbox is there, right? So when you click on this, it's going to install MongoDB Compass as well. So MongoDB Compass is a graphic user interface. So the main application that's going to get installed is your MongoDB server, which kind of holds its data and so on. So you can use Python and other programming languages to kind of connect to the server and work with the data. But we have a different software called as MongoDB Compass, which lets you to kind of visually see the data present in it and create database collection and so on. So MongoDB is like Compass is an important step. If you're working on some remote server where GUI is not there, then you don't have to install this. Like you probably install it from terminal in a Linux machine. But for Windows, you can just install this. Install MongoDB Compass as well. So click on this next and click on install. So this is going to need administration privileges. So I'll click on this yes. So I'll pass this installation because this may take some minutes. I'll resume this once this installation is done. So the installation is done and it has automatically opened MongoDB Compass. So I'll click on this finish and let's open this MongoDB Compass. So again, as I said, there are two parts to it. One is MongoDB server, which holds the actual data, and this MongoDB Compass is like the graphic user interface for this. So you can click on this add new connection, and this is the default port in which MongoDB server is running. So 27017, and we are connecting to localhost. So MongoDB localhost 27017 is the URI. So this is like the default URI. So if you are working with a MongoDB server that is on remote or some cloud machines, you can give that particular URI here with some name and so on. So I have this MongoDB localhost 27017. The other things I don't have to do. So if I want, I can choose a particular color. So maybe I'll choose this blue color. Okay, and I click on this connect. So this it's just going to connect to my localhost 27107, and I have the default databases admin, config, and local. So these are the three things that I have. So startup log and other details. So I'll close this. So now let's see how we can download a sample database and work with it. And I also wanted to show you how you can stop or start a server. So I'll close this, close MongoDB Compass. So it may also ask you to restart the system. So that's a possibility as well. So for stopping this MongoDB server, I can open this command prompt. So you cannot do this just by opening this command prompt. You have to open this as administrator because the stop and start command is going to require admin privileges. So I'll open command prompt as administrator and say net stop MongoDB, where em should be in uppercase and db should be in uppercase, and I'll press enter. So this is going to stop my MongoDB server. So it says MongoDB server is stopping. So if it's not running, just press enter a couple of times. It will stop eventually. So the MongoDB service was stopped successfully. So now if I open my MongoDB compass, so it has this icon in my desktop. So if I open this, it's going to give me an error. So I click on this drop down here. It says connect to this, like there is a problem connecting to this localhost because we have stopped the server. So now what I can do is open the command prompt again. Again, this is on administrator mode. So now I'll click on this up arrow. So it's going to show me the previous command that I used, which is net stop MongoDB. So here I can just say net start MongoDB. Again, M and DB should be in uppercase. Press enter, and it's going to start your MongoDB service. So we have MongoDB service is starting. So now I can open my compass again, and now I can click on this, right? So now you are seeing this green dot here. So that means the connection has been established. So that's how you can you know start and stop your MongoDB server. So now let's see how we can import a sample database. So here we can just use some JSON sample data. So I'll go to Google and search for sample MongoDB database. So there are like some examples. So we have this one with Airbnb. So I found a file in this GitHub profile. So you can just go to Google and search for sample MongoDB database. So I'll click on this particular link. So this user has the sample database. You can maybe use this one. So it's a public repository. So I'll click on this sample Airbnb. So listings and reviews.json. So this is the data that we are going to download. So I'll click on this. And after clicking on this listings and reviews JSON, we have this download raw file button, right? So click on this. So after a few seconds, it will download the file, or you can also kind of click on this view raw to look at the actual data, but the download will start. So we can just use that particular file. Hmm. Okay, so the starting of download took a bit of time, but it has like downloaded. So this is the raw content, so we don't need this anymore. So we have this listings and reviews. So let's upload this particular file. So I'll open my MongoDB, and I can click on this localhost. So this is our MongoDB server, right? So these are all the databases. So we have the localhost as server, and these are databases. So here I can click on this plus symbol to create a new database. To connect to a different server, you can click on this add new connection, but to connect to a different database or create a new database, you can click on this create database button, and here you can give a name. So here I'll maybe say this as sample underscore database, and collection name I'll say Airbnb or something. Okay. And then other things you can leave it as such. If it's a time series data, time related data, you can click on time series, but it's not that. So we can just leave it as such and create this database. So we have the database, right? So this collection is just like a table that we have in this SQL databases. So we have created this collection, which is the folder symbol. And here, when you click this, right? So let's say that we are clicking on this local host, and then we are in the sample database. When you expand this, you see this Airbnb. Double click this, and this has no data. So this says this collection has no data. It only takes a few seconds to import data from a JSON or a CSV file. So we are going to click this import data and use the JSON file that we have downloaded. So I'm on downloads, and we have downloaded this listings and reviews, right? Which is a JSON file. So listings and reviews, you can use this option to say that stop on errors. So when you're encountering errors, it's going to stop importing. So you can click on that, but we can leave it as such and click on import. So the importing step is kind of happening. So let's wait for this to complete. So this won't take much time. So let's also see what are all the details that we have in this particular data. Hmm. Some of the imported documents contain large amount of data. It's just a warning, we can skip this. So totally like this many number of 5500 and 555, some number of data has been imported. So this is actually like a JSON data type. So we have key and value pair. So we have a ID, the listing URL, so airbnb.com, rooms, name of the person, summary of the place, and so on. So we have all these details, right? So this is what we kind of talk about when we say this document type of data type. So it doesn't have to be a row or a column, and it doesn't kind of strictly follow the rule that a collection should have same number of key value pairs. So this data point can have 10 key value pairs, other data point can have 5 value pairs, and so on. So that's possible too. But this is how you can import the data, and the querying is also pretty simple. So here let's say that we want to filter. So some example is given here, right? So field and value. So here let's say that we want to filter all the rooms or all the places in this listings, and say that maximum nights. So I'll say, so we have this maximum nights as key. So I'll copy this entire thing, maximum nights, and so the curly braces is already on. So within this curly braces, put double quotes, say maximum nights, and put a colon. And the number of nights is also in quotes, as you can see. So put that in quotes as well. So I'll say 365. That means all the places that as a maximum night stay of 365 places is going to be listed out of this 5555 data. So once you have this query with this key and the value pair, you can click on this find. So it's going to filter and give you 192 data points. That means like 192 of these places allow the user to have like maximum nights of 365, only 365 days. So that many maximum nights is possible. So similarly, you can combine different search queries, like show me the place where maximum nights is 365 and there are 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and so on. So you can do those complex querying as well. So that's about it. Maybe we can discuss about this MongoDB querying in a different video, but this is how you can just get started with working with this MongoDB and sample database. Okay, and once you're done, you can close this MongoDB compass. As I said, you can also stop the MongoDB server. So by just saying net stop MongoDB, so that's going to stop the server. So this is how you can work with MongoDB and MongoDB Compass. So I hope that you have learned to use this. That is all from my side, and I'll see you in the next upload. Thanks for watching.